I'm Akwesi.
I'm Thomas.
Joe, welcome.
We are Team 7 and we are here to present to you our cultural presentation. The text we are here to analyze is Serafina, written by and directed by James Root. He is a South African screenwriter and playwright. He was born in the year April 28, 1962, and in 1992 released Serafina. Serafina reflects the racial segregation, discrimination, and economic challenges faced by the Black community of South Africa during the apartheid regime.
So you may ask, what is Serafina?
Mind if I take that?
Yeah, you can.
So Serafina is a movie about a young, eccentric Soweto girl in high school who had aspirations and dreams of being a star. Her classmates were full of rebels who wanted to fight against the apartheid regime, and initially she didn't really want to take a stand against it. She was passive. However, she was inspired by her teacher Mary Masambuka to take a stand against it, and she assumed the leadership position using the power of music to fight against the regime. However, there were some unfortunate casualties. Many of her friends were put through enduring punishment. Some were killed, and even the constable faced his end during the conflict. But that wasn't the end of it all. Through all of those struggles, she was able to persist, and she organized a dance which spoke about, sang about the freedom of Africa. I was wondering which lens would be best in approaching the analysis of this movie.
Let's use the post-colonial lens, since the other lenses do not really embrace the moment. So post-colonialism presents the state of the aftermath of Western colonization in Africa. We are going to be using three concepts to analyze Serafina, namely cultural hegemony, othering, and colonial discourse. So when I was watching the movie, the concept that stood out to me was cultural hegemony, because we saw that the whites basically had a chokehold on their system. They basically controlled everything they were doing, especially their syllabus. Their syllabus had nothing to do with black people, nothing of black culture. It was just teaching them about whites, what the whites had accomplished. So everything on their mind was whites. They saw the whites as gods and saw themselves as inferior. This is until Madame Mary, a teacher, actually stepped in and taught them about who they were, their culture and their identity. And this decolonized their minds and made them believe in themselves. And this made them riot and resist what they were being taught by the whites. So this actually ended in the decolonization of their mind, and they finally accepted who they are, and they do not see themselves as inferior to the whites.
For the concept of othering, it was really represented in the activities of the police officers. And they viewed the students who were black as incompetent or unable to think for themselves, and viewed the black people as masterminds of bad actions.
Especially violence.
Yeah, especially violence. Throughout the movie, you can see the whites people being excessively violent to the black people, because to the extent that they treat them as if they are animals. They torture them, they laugh when they are being beaten, and they do not even listen to them before giving out their judgments. So it was a particular moment that really highlighted the othering was when Serafina was being investigated by the detective or the commander, where he called the Africans people who were disrupting their peace or disrupting it's basically Africa, South Africa. He called South Africa his home, his country, and I think he disregarded the locals.
The actual people who live there.
Yeah, as he added them.
Colonial discourse is the concept that I found the most apparent in the movie. However, I would like to use the latter part of the movie to touch on it. During the latter part of the movie, we see that there was a funeral, and it was an open funeral, which really indicates that the colonial masters had really affected the way funerals can even go on for the black people. There's nothing like an honorable death. When you are dead, you are buried and you are left there, because you can't actually have a proper burial. Aside from that, what followed on was there were a lot of riots, people were killed, people were in prison, treated like dogs, and it really affected the way that the students, the children taught, how they grew up over time, and how they really perceive the outside world. It wasn't until after Mandela's freeing that things really started to change in the minds of them. But what's broken can be fixed the same way. Looking into things further, Sarafina vividly depicts the emotional and mental strain individuals and communities endure due to oppression. The film explores the impacts on characters' psyche within a system designed to subjugate and dehumanize them, delving into internal struggles, fear, and trauma. It goes beyond physical manifestations, illustrating the erosion of self-esteem and the constant battle against powerlessness. This psychological dimension is crucial in understanding the resilience of characters like Sarafina. The movie also portrays a collective psychological impact on communities, emphasizing the pervasive atmosphere of fear and mistrust. The shared trauma becomes a unifying force, fostering a collective identity rooted in the struggle against psychological oppression. Overall, Sarafina prompts viewers to empathize, offering a deeper understanding of enduring impacts on colonialism, on the human psyche, and marginalized communities.
Having gone through a full analysis of Sarafina, here are some key takeaways. Sarafina teaches the importance of cultural awareness. In our daily lives, we need to embrace cultural diversity. We need to strive to understand and respect different cultural backgrounds and foster an environment where diverse perspectives are valued. We also need to resist oppression. We need to find ways, either through peaceful protest, advocacy, or supporting causes that promote equality and justice. It also teaches us to critically assess narratives. We need to apply this lesson by scrutinizing the information we consume daily. We need to be aware of potential biases and question representations and seek diverse perspectives. By doing so, we avoid falling into narratives that reinforce stereotypes or marginalize certain voices.
Sarafina engages in a meaningful conversation with other texts on colonialism by exploring themes of cultural identity, resistance, and persistent power dynamics post-decolonization. Sarafina stands out for its focus on the effects of colonial educational systems, linguistic influences, and the ongoing struggles of individuals and communities. The narrative delves into cultural hybridity, showcasing characters negotiating their identities in a society marked by historical injustices. Through its portrayal of resistance and agency, the film becomes a vital participant in the larger discourse on colonialism, enriching the narrative landscape with its unique point of view on the enduring consequences of historical legacies.